Get it. Mad genius of rock and roll.
Yeah. Good morning. Hello, and welcome to the Daily Atheist Morning Show. I'm your host, the amazing Super Chris. Thank you for joining me. Let me turn off this noise in my ear holes. There we go. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me. It's Friday. I've got my wonderful co-host Ryan here with me. She'll be back up in just a second. And it's Friday. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. It's the 4th of July. We mourn the death of the United States. 250 good years we got out of it, though, right? We'll talk about that more on the show, of course. And today is the 10th anniversary of mine and the evil one's wedding. She's off. Actually, I know this is going to sound weird because I'm the guy who always goes and gets the coffee. She's actually going to get me a coffee from the coffee place because she slept all morning. But yeah, hey, I get a coffee. Anyway, good morning, everyone. Thank you all for joining us. Guess what? We're going to be doing the Ark Encounter protest this weekend. Don't miss it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Here's a little bit of information on it from And we are back. Let me bring up Ryan here. Good morning, Ryan. Looking lovely as always.
Good morning. How are you?
I am wonderful. Thank you for joining me this morning. I gave you the option to not be here today, and you never said anything, so I didn't know. But I appreciate you showing. When I saw your name in the chat this morning, I thought she's gonna be here. She's gonna be here. So
well, I was gonna let you do
here.
the boy thing if Kentucky Atheist joined you this morning. So I was like, I'll let the boys do their thing. But I was like, well, I don't know if he's here. I haven't seen him in the chat. So I'll poke my head in, see what's up.
Well, thank you. I kind of gave you the girls' day yesterday. Yeah. It's only fair you return the favor. He actually has plans to join us for the second half of the hour this morning. Or second half of the show. So he's going to come in just a little bit later. He knows we're doing our 10th anniversary. Well, he knows we're doing our 10K stream. He knows we're doing also having the 10th anniversary of me and the evil one. And today also we want to talk about the other political stuff. So we just kind of saved the end of the show for the Ark Encounter protest. But folks, if you can, Ark Encounter protest. It's going to be awesome. And Dave Murphy was first this morning. I mean,
he was first?
Stupid early, like 4 o'clock my time or some business like that. Yeah, I know. I was like, you poor creature, what are you doing up at this ungodly hour?
That's right. Excuse me. No.
That's right. Bill Castle is here. Good morning, Bill Castle. I hope you're doing great. Haven't seen you in a day or three. Thank you. Brent A, this is the Star Trek Adventure Cruise shirt I got. Ollie is here wrestling on the back. I love that shirt. Yeah, but I can't wear it all the time. I usually just wear it on Fridays. It's my Friday shirt.
It's your Friday shirt. Yeah, it's a Friday shirt.
That's right. Friday. That's awesome. Really is here. Gary Priestley, man, we don't get to see. I was wondering if we'd have a lot more viewers today because, you know how it is. People are off today and they have the opportunity to sit here and watch with us. Thank you all for joining us. I very much appreciate you. Gray old dude. Moon. I saw the post. I see them. Alosa is back. Good morning, Alosa. Thank you for joining us. For those of you who don't know, I worked the Daily Atheist Morning Show back in 2019 to 2020. I had another co-host. It did not go well. It didn't succeed like this. We got I think 1,300 subscribers in an entire year. This time here, we've built up the show 10,000 subscribers, well, 9,000-ish, to fill that gap within just the past, I guess now it's 11 months, not quite a year. So we've done some good. It's done good.
You done did it.
I know. Alone and scared. There I was, surrounded.
But I made it.
I know, but I made it.
Mm-hmm.
15th upvote. That's awesome. Big zebra. Telltellers Universe, good morning. How are you doing? Thank you for joining us, man. I see
Go
a
follow
lot of
my
cool
friend
names in there.
Jonathan.
What's that, Jonathan?
Every morning I have something in my eye, y'all. I think it just, as soon as the show starts, it's like something that has to happen to me. But my friend, Telltellers, please go follow my friend Jonathan. He tells tales.
True. See, okay. Hey, Dave Murphy he's got a point. It's difficult to grow an atheist channel on YouTube. It is difficult. Now, I want to mention, I don't know about shorts. I don't do very many shorts. They've done me a lot of good. Right. Live streams do not really grow a channel so much unless you're like a debate stream or some business where you argue with somebody, or, like a deconstruction zone. His does great. Those who like to take calls and argue with people, which is cool, that's their bag. Those live streams tend to be good. But for just an atheist content creator, the best thing, if you were to ask me what to do right now, the best thing to do, drop long form videos. Drop long. I will not shut down the channel like I did last time whenever I got kind of burnt out. If I burn out this time, what I'll do is I'll just stop doing the lives and drop long form videos, because that's just really where it's at. If you want to make the money on YouTube, dropping the long, and girl, you've been dropping some long form videos. That series of yours is coming out, I see.
Like they were hot.
I know.
Yes, I'm gonna tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my second video I've dropped for my Cult Dropout series, and I've already I just edited one this morning and exported it, and I've already got 2 filmed that I still even have to, because it's just me shooting the shit and spilling my guts. But you guys, like, I need help, because what I find is as I'm editing, what I find I do is, instead of talking about the feelings, keeping it more personal, what I tend to do is what I always did is I'll just start to go to facts and tell the story about the facts. Because So as I'm editing, I'm going like, okay, girl, you need to kind of pull it back to you and try to get this stuff out. So hold me accountable awesome. In those comment sections. Mm-hmm.
I kind of have the same thing. There's a part I realized, and it's even recently, that I've got an energy that I got to keep up. And if I don't keep that energy up or the drive, then it's, it's not as good. And if I can manage to keep that up, matter of fact, I'm going to play that video that I dropped this morning.
I just watched it this morning. I was like, okay, Chris.
Yes. Some hot stuff right there. Yes. And I was just kind of waiting for our crowd to get a little bigger, and I'm going to ask them to help share it with me. Normally I don't ask this, and not everybody does the share. Not everybody has social media, but for those, we'll watch it first. And those who agree with me, please share it. Because I'm not really saying, I'm asking to share, to spread it on your social media so other people can say. And I say this because what I've said is important. We could just do it now. Let me do that now and show people now. Do it. All right. So coming over here and here, studio. Okay, so I put this out. This is the updated, edited version. There is some adult language. I know, in the video. So prepare yourselves. Okay.
Happy Treason Day.
Yeah, no doubt. Huh? That's it. Oh man. All right. So I actually made this yesterday. I'm going to share. Boopity boop. Boopity boop. Boopity boop. Boop. Okay. And I'm going to take me and Ryan off the screen if it'll let me this time, because sometimes it's a jerk. You can still hear us, but you'll be able to watch the whole video. Here we go. Things that the conservatives done should be considered atrocities. Literally 14 million people estimated to die because of the shutting down of USA aid. That is an atrocity that the U.S. conservative MAGAs need to answer for. They need to answer for. They need to be charged in some form of like new modern day Nuremberg trial, because they are literally killing people by the thousands. One of the first things Pam Bondi did after she got into office, literally hours after getting into office, she created the Weaponizing Working Group. And what this group is to investigate groups who investigated Donald Trump. Essentially, it was Donald Trump's way of weaponizing. They're doing exactly what they were claiming was being done to Donald Trump. If you were investigating Donald Trump, they're investigating you now. That's what they were doing. Also, should be known that that was one of the first things that happened whenever she got in office. We now have a January 6th rioter, someone who was a former FBI guy charged with insurrection, who attacked the Capitol, who is egging people on. He has now been hired by the Department of Justice and put in and is working in this weaponization working group. Jared Weiss was on trial for the insurrection, for his actions during the insurrection, whenever President Trump got into office and gave all of them pardons. We saw the insurrection on the news. We watched it live as these conservative MAGA supporters attacked the Capitol. We watched it, and Donald Trump pardoned all of those individuals. As soon as he got into the office, one of the first things he did was pardon 1,500 insurrectionists. These 1,500 people, now they're even rewarding them with jobs in the government. I mean, there was an attempt to overthrow our nation. He's back in office now, and they're turning our nation. They've already done it. They've gone after every aspect of our nation. They're going after the separation of powers. Donald Trump is defanging the judges, the federal judges, and he's using the Supreme Court that he put in there to do it. And in the past few months, Donald Trump and the MAGA conservative politicians have literally overthrown our nation. They've overthrown the United States. They're attacking the Constitution on so many different levels, literally, whether it be attacking the First Amendment rights of news organizations, of protesters. Now they're still trying to work this big, ugly fucking bill through. And what the deal is they're literally trying to rape the poorest, the most vulnerable people in our society. They're just milking them and giving it to the stupid wealthy. This Murkowski lady, she got up there, and Miss Murkowski, someday I hope you see this. I saw your video where you tried to stare down that reporter when he called your bullshit out.
Senator Paul said that that your vote was a bailout for Alaska at the expense of the rest of the country.
Oh my.
That's what Senator Paul said.
I guess it was easy. Senator, we've got the
I didn't say
How is it
ma'am.
not?
I'm just asking for your response.
My response is I have an obligation to the people of the state of Alaska. And I live up to that every single day. Do I like this bill? No, because I tried to take care of Alaska's interests. But I know that in many parts of the country, there are Americans that are not going to be advantaged by this bill.
You sold out all of the American people on Medicare. You said you weren't going to. But conservatives said you weren't going to go after Medicare and Medicaid. And you know what? We should have known you were going to, because you're liars. You're nothing but liars. You lie constantly. And this is proof. And now you're doing your thing. You're going after your big, beautiful bill, and you're trying to gut the American population. You're trying to take and make as many Americans dirt poor as you can. You're taking away all the support systems. Things that the conservatives done should be considered atrocities. Literally 14 million people estimated to die because of the shutting down of USA aid. That is an atrocity that the U.S. conservative MAGAs need to answer for. They need to answer for. They need to be charged in some form of like new modern day Nuremberg trial, because they are literally killing people by the thousands. And that's not what's going to happen whenever they start cutting people out of Medicaid and Medicare, whenever these elderly people who have no family, no money, they're dependent on that for just to get in, let's keep them living in the nursing home. Well, what's going to happen then? You know, this is just one huge step to destroy our country. Vladimir Putin must be just giddy with what's going on right now. This is hurting America so bad. And all the conservative politicians, they're freaking bought out. This is not how the government works. Our country has been overthrown. I mean, we're on the very last brink of the United States of America. If you're an older person like me and you've been here since 40 or 50 years, you know what it was like to live in the United States of America. That is gone. It wasn't Democrats, it wasn't immigrants that did this. It was conservatives. Donald Trump, the MAGA conservatives, had literally turned our nation into 1939 Germany. And I know you think I'm shitting, but we now literally have concentration camps here in the United States. We've got other members of the Senate calling for more of these things, and they are bragging about this alligator Alcatraz. They want people to get hurt. They're giddy. They're giddy for people to try to leave and escape from this prison, this concentration camp, so they can get eaten by alligators. What the fuck kind of people are running our country? Jesus fucking Christ. What is going on? They're going to starve us to death. It's literally a billionaire war. We're going to got to get money out of politics. We got to shut Fox News down and prosecute the people in Fox News. Don't just find them, prosecute them bastards for telling lies and spreading misinformation and undermining our republic, lying to the people so the money could undermine the Constitution. They should pay for that, not just dollars. These conservative people over on Fox News need to be tried and go to prison for the lies they spread. Gavin Newsom is suing them for $700 and some odd million for lying. They need to be sued for lying more often. Fox News needs to be sued out of existence, and the talking heads who have intentionally, knowingly spread lies, and we know who they are. We have their messages. That's why they paid out those millions of dollars, because they knew they were busted. We had the messages, the emails, the text messages confirming they knew that they were telling lies. These people need to go to prison. They do. They do. Look at the damage. They're estimated 14 million people are going to die because of the cuts to USA aid. So to you out there who took an oath to the Constitution, you did not take an oath to Donald Trump. You took an oath to the Constitution to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States. The Constitution is under attack right now from a domestic threat. They're using both violence, they're using the law, they're attacking it through whether they're going after, like I said earlier, they're going after people who are trying to use their First Amendment rights. They've gotten rid of the due process, 14th Amendment. If you've even heard in the news about the due process, how people are not getting the due process, Donald Trump is violating the 14th Amendment of the Constitution right there. Do your fucking jobs. Do your fucking jobs. You're supposed to defend the Constitution from threats, both foreign and domestic. Stop sucking Donald Trump's dick. He needs to be in prison. This is the most corrupt president in history. It's absolutely pathetic how it's out there, and there's nobody can stop them. Nobody can stop them. We, the people, my friends.
Snap, snap, snap.
Okay. Sorry about that. It's just going to take a minute to get everything back into order. Yeah, so I hope that link works on that latest link. Let me check and make sure. I guess I got some fire going on there. I saw the chat. Most of you agreed with what I was saying. So I did post it in there. Again, this video, and I'm going to repost it now because of this, because I had an actually pretty little statement in there. Let me see if I can find it. But this thing, I mean, despite having it doesn't have the views it needs, I think. So if you agree with what I was saying, I'd appreciate it if you would share that video. I've got a link up there. I do believe it works now. Let me check and see. Boop. Yes, it does work now. So if you don't mind, give it a share. I mean, right now it's got 21 views.
Is that
I know,
it?
right?
Damn.
21 views. The title is Update. Conservatives are committing atrocities. How is that not a catchy title? How does that not make you want to watch more of that? And if you want to see the thumbnails, let me show you guys because they tell you thumbnails and the title, right? So the title is Conservatives are committing atrocities, 14 million estimated deaths by 2030. That's the title. I think that's fairly catchy. Now, let me go find it here. The thumbnails, let me see if I can show them to you. I don't normally do this on here. Let me go here. And you can tell me, do you think these are catchy? I mean, sort of catchy?
I'd like to catch it.
Let's go here. it will bring up the page. Okay, so there we go. Now let me see if I can share this, my friends. Mon ami, bear with me. Let's go. Here is one of the thingies. Here we go. Update, NBC News. I got to learn, how do I share that one? Window, let's go here. Share. Okay, so here is one of the thumbnails.
I think it says it all.
I think that I would click on that. Here's another one.
Yep.
Notice I always try to make sure I fairly appropriate him with the, yeah.
His
and then here's
symbol.
That's the little symbol. Yeah, let's see. Go here, go here. And then this one here, the last one was the #1 domestic terrorist. That's the last one I've tried. And, you know, I want to mention here, folks, for those who kind of disagree with me on that notion, what is terrorism? Terrorism is using violence or threats for political gain. And that's all Donald Trump is. Donald Trump is literally the biggest terrorist in the world right now. He wields his power like a club. What's that?
I said his whole shtick is violence.
Absolutely. So let me just, and fear, driven by hate and otherism. And for some reason, it seems to work really well with Christianity. I don't know why that seems to pair up. Thank you very much, Dade Murphy, for sharing the video. I get little notifications occasionally whenever people do that thing. Man, I appreciate that. I feel like it's an important message. And, you know, the nature, you know, they say they don't stymie your channel, but I've got 10,000 subscribers and yet 23 views or whatever it said it has, you know, anyway. So between the title and the thumbnail, I think I should have some views going on there.
We shall see.
We shall see. So thank you all for joining us. I appreciate you watching that video with me. I did put the link up there. Now let's kind of go to a little bit of a lighter topic. Guess what? 10,000 subscribers. There's 10,000 of you out there. Not right now currently watching, but there are many of you, and I appreciate it.
Why not?
And it's also the 4th of July. Lots of things going on. I know. The 4th of July. What does that mean? Well, as I mentioned, I've mentioned a couple times, you know, it's like we get to watch the last gasps of what was the United States. Ooh, I have an idea. We should. Oh my goodness. You didn't hear that, but the evil one is in the chat.
Oh, there she is. I see her. Good morning.
The evil one. Yes. So, yes. So the evil one is here. Good morning. 10.2 subscribers. Yes. I think it's wonderful that it's grown so fast. I did try a little advertising. I didn't like it. I didn't trust it. I stopped it. Otherwise, it's all been natural growth. Man, it's been fun. Video dropping and then our shows. People like Justin giving us a shout out. Justin gave me a shout out one day during his deconstruction live stream. And in that short amount of that, just that short little shout out, I got 50 or 47 subscribers.
That's a lot.
That's crazy. That's amazing. That's awesome.
Because sometimes that's more than I get for, well, sometimes a little way more than I get for like one video drop. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sometimes it's more, I got to be honest. I got more subscribers off of his shout out than I get fucking views on videos.
On your last video. That hurt.
I know, right? I know.
Hurt.
It's a pain. Like, God, stab me in the heart, throw my liver to the dogs. Goodness gracious, yeah. Gary Priestley said, I just heard Justin give you that shout out. Yeah, he is great. Justin is awesome. He is wonderful. And Doug, of course, always got to praise Doug. Be rock hard for Doug. And of course, there's a lot of people who've jumped in the chat there. Let's see here. Deviant Outcast, good morning. If I missed you, it's just been a heck of a day so far. And I'm, just know me love you. You're wonderful. Yes, rock hard for Doug.
Rational Poet Jackie, do you get the same thing where because of the kind of videos we watch, the advertisement is far right kind of stuff? I get a lot of PragerU.
Really?
for Israel. And Rational Poet Jackie said she gets Americans for Prosperity ads, which I also get as well. All kinds. It's rarely any kind of Democratic type of commercial. It's always like, man, they're just pouring money.
Yeah. But I wasn't laughing at what you were saying. I was reading the chat. I'm sorry. The evil one.
It's fine.
Yeah. That is the deal. I wish we had that kind of money. Where's our money? Where's our George Soros money? Where's our I mean, I got to give them credit. Bill Gates and those people who are giving away their billions of dollars to charities. That's great. It's helping charities out. Yay. But there's a war going on, and the mouthpieces that are on the same side as these people who care about the same issues, they're not supporting them, I feel. Miss Non Sequitur is here. The evil one. What are y'all doing to celebrate the big? We're not doing a lot, right? To be honest, we're not. This is kind of. I'm going to make her some eggy bread.
What's that?
It's what English people call French toast.
Ah, okay. Yes. Yeah, my husband calls it that as well.
Yeah. So, so I'm going to make her some eggy bread.
Yummy.
I know. It's kind of one of my things. Thank you, Dade. I saw you said you were going to do a thing with one of my sounds. I appreciate it. PragerU doesn't come across my feed anymore, but other right-wing shows because we believe in a right-wing country, or because we live in a right-wing country. Well, I get it. And what they do is they got all this stupid amounts of money. So they go in there and they buy a lot of advertising. And instead of buying advertising, it goes towards people who, you can either go towards people who support my ideas, or you can tell it to go to people who are against my ideas. And they put a lot of money into pushing those ads into front of people who do not agree with their ideas.
Yeah.
And it's overwhelming. I remember during the election, it was just crazy how many different political ads you were seeing or follow these in Facebook. Facebook was just disgusting before this last election. It was just,
and every
horrible.
ad, it just turns me off.
Yeah.
I don't like fear-based ads. I don't like people who run their campaigns based on what somebody else has done. Sure, you can mention it, of course, but if the only talking point you have is what they've done and pointing the finger, but not telling me what you're going to do, I don't want to hear about it.
So true. Back to the more serious topic at hand. The evil one did point out that it's not just eggy bread.
Oh.
It's eggy bread with extra crispy bacon.
Ooh, yum.
Yes. So there's a thing. We actually cook our bacon in the oven. We used to fry it. Now we cook it in the oven. So good. Never going back.
Do you use like your full oven, or do you use like the air fryer or something like that?
The full oven. Yeah.
How long does that take?
Well, we're kind of working on that. We got some advice from the girl, which is our daughter. She gave us some advice because she was the one that showed us how to do it. And we took that advice and we immediately forgot exactly what it was. I don't remember exactly. So I'm going to actually look it up on the internet this morning. We don't do it very often. We don't have bacon very often. So yeah.
I'll have to try that.
It is much better. Gray old dude, Lisa, the rainbow giraffe, this old helmet. Good morning. Ravidel, I'm seeing a lot of faces in here this morning. Good to see you. I'm hoping there's a lot of people who haven't, don't normally have the opportunity to see the show, who get to see the show today because it's a holiday.
True. They might be off work. Mm-hmm.
They might not be off. Or yes, true. I was looking into something, one of the things we've been talking about on our show, we're just going to talk about anything, right? So we still got the AD&D. One of the things that I've talked about on the show is how they want to create a poorer class, right? That's why they're doing all these things, is trying to drive down to, but there's a problem. There's a problem with that. The problem with that thinking is the minimum wage, Oh, darn. And I was just kind of curious if there were, whenever I thought about that, I was thinking, I was just sitting there thinking, and that hit me, wow, they do want, but then they've got the minimum wage. It keeps people making a certain amount of money. And then I went to Chat GPT and I asked it because, Chat knows everything, obviously. to research and find out and see if there were any conservatives talking about lowering the minimum wage. And you know what? There are quite a few, apparently. Now, they're not up in the open. It's still kind of back within their own things. But one of them thinks actually that there should be no minimum
wage.
Yeah.
I
And you know what?
happened.
Right. Yeah. I remember I never really thought about it like this, but one day I saw somewhere, I don't know where I saw it, so I didn't make it up myself is all. I guess the point is that if a business is paying you minimum wage, that means they would pay you less if they could.
Oh, yeah.
The only thing that's keeping them from paying you less is the laws telling them they must pay you. And that it kind of,
Oh, yeah. They would get away with, if we didn't have OSHA, people would be dying left and right with impunity, probably. I doubt that anybody would hold them accountable. And there's a possibility we're headed straight in that direction.
Mm-hmm. Well, I want to mention, since you bring that up, they've actually gone after OSHA.
Yeah,
Donald Trump is already.
They are.
Speaking of OSHA, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's just one example, really, of the attacks they've made on our country.
They want to remove worker protections, health care, because a sick worker, I mean, they're not productive, but if you can just keep pumping them out, you just replace them with the new baby that, you made start working at 15 years old now.
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah. So that they're absolutely, they're going after OSHA of all things. It's just, they don't care about the people at all. They care about the rich because, that's who OSHA protects is the people, not the rich.
Yeah.
I noticed Drewzilla was here. Good morning, Drewzilla. Al Trucker is here. Got a roll, but love the show. Glad I'm able to tune in this morning. Thank you, Al, for popping by. We appreciate you. He already destroyed the Consumer Protections Bureau. Is that what it's called? Donald Trump. They already gutted that. The company that keeps the department that keeps businesses from fucking over people.
Right.
Yeah.
Why should we have safe workplaces and protections and rights as citizens? They give it all to businesses. That was the biggest mistake this country has made, is allowing businesses to have more rights above us.
I wonder. Yes. And then, of course, the one I saw a bumper sticker yesterday on a vet's. I was in a parking lot of a VA, and there was a vet who is clearly a left-wing nutbag like us, had all kinds of stuff. He gets out of the truck. He's got like a long ponytail, looks like a motorcycle trucker kind of guy with a hat and the blue jeans and the whole ball of wax. But he was just covered up with left-wing liberal nutbag stuff. And one of his said something that I already forgot what it said. What were we talking about?
Oh, shoot. Well, we were talking about OSHA and protections and rights for the working class.
Oh, damn it. I lost it. Yeah. Well, anyway, he had all kinds of stuff up there. I don't know why I got distracted. Bad Chris. I knew
Me too.
better.
We were just talking about it. So, that's just
I know
how bad I am too.
Somebody in the chat will be like, you were going to tell us something. That's what'll happen. OSHA. Yeah. The OSHA. Make life fair. But, the deal is, though, checks and balances seem to be less functional. ADHD for the win. That's right, Ms. Non-Sequitur. Philip Lister says checks and balances seem less than functional. Well, that's the whole deal. They've been working to gut the checks and balances. One of the checks and balances is indeed the Supreme Court. But the Supreme Court catered to Donald Trump. Now that they're, that once they ceded their power, that kind of now Donald Trump. One of the things standing between Donald Trump and the people was the judges.
Mm-hmm. And these
federal judges, right? The federal judges were putting these in, blocking these bills and things that Donald Trump was trying to pass. And Donald Trump got tired of it. He threw it up to the Supreme Court, asking the Supreme Court to make it to where the lower court judges no longer can stop him. And they did. They gave away the power of the lower court judges.
What kind of president stirs different government agencies to attack each other? I never thought that I would see that day.
A Russian Manchurian puppet who's intentionally trying to undermine the United States.
Because who else and why else would you want to make your
Yeah.
country that unstable?
Yeah. You know, with this new bill, a lot of people don't realize with this new bill that they're doing, it will make ICE one of the largest police.
Yes.
I mean, yeah.
They already are. Yep.
Yeah.
Their budget now has surpassed the budget for the Marines.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's how big their budget is. And they have full power, full rights to do whatever
right.
with impunity.
July 3rd. I'm just looking to make sure how much ICE would increase under Trump's mega bill. $48 billion.
But
Yeah, overall number is even higher.
But stripping healthcare.
Yeah, but they can't have health care.
Yeah,
You know,
stripping food out of the schools so kids don't get fed, taking SNAP out of households who rely on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Getting rid of Medicaid, Medicare. They're getting rid of, I mean, they have a hurricane damage in Florida, and now that he's getting rid of FEMA. Getting rid of fucking FEMA.
So FEMA's budget has been sliced. And I saw people saying, oh, well, the because they're using part of FEMA's budget to pay for the immigration stuff and ICE and things of that nature. They're like, oh, well, it's, you know, they're still keeping FEMA. There's still FEMA, but they slashed that FEMA. The disaster and relief budget is being slashed, while the other end of it, the back end of it for ICE and the detention is increasing. So you actually have cut FEMA and taking money away from them.
That's right. Cryptic Peptide for $5 says, give Trump credit for cucking nearly half of the U.S. and an entire political party. I have an undocumented family member. We don't know what to do. Yeah. Well, step A, Cryptic Peptide.
So sorry.
Don't mention publicly that you have an undocumented family member. Step A. Keep that on the down low from now on. I'm just saying. But I appreciate you. Yeah, that's scary. You know, this is what I was saying earlier about how, or I've said before about, these are the kind of people that you would hide Anne Frank from, you know, and there's more of them than we thought. Neil, the 604 atheist, says, hey, Chris, 10K, fuck you. I know. I know, but he means it in a good kind of way, a soft, gentle,
Neil,
beard on the back of the neck kind of way. Yeah. Good morning, Neil. Thank you for that. Apostate sisters, we think money runs all of this, but the people do. Oh, well, that's what we need to do. We need to make that happen. For those of you who don't know, there's a video linked in the chat. If you get a chance, watch it, share it, please. It's a little ranty of me. And part of the deal is, this is what I want to say. I want to do just kind of a briefly update. Donald Trump and his administration and the MAGA right-wing politicians are literally attacking the Constitution of the United States. Their oath is to defend that Constitution. They have been attacking and destroying it. Are you okay? I will.
I dropped some.
Oh, okay. I got you. No, it's all right. So Donald Trump is not defending the Constitution. He's attacking it in multiple ways. He's attacking people who are trying to exercise their constitutionally protected rights. And he's also using law and money to undermine the Constitution itself. He's ignoring the Constitution. Like an example would be the 14th Constitution grants people due process. Donald Trump is not allowing, he's violating people's due process. That's an attack on the 14th Amendment of the Constitution. Every member of our government swore to protect and defend the Constitution, and we need to remind them of that so they can start doing their jobs. Whatever that may be, you know, if your job is to drive this truck from here to here or whatever, you know, if you're a airplane pilot for Air Force One, say no, you know?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, refuse. We've got to refuse.
Yeah. I don't know why everybody seems to be like that. Like from Alaska, just well, I was hoping that when it went back to the Senate or whatever, that it wouldn't pass. No, hold it there. Hold the line there.
Right.
Instead
That's
of
right.
caving and carve outs for your citizens while the rest of us get shat on.
Yeah, absolutely. Damn it. Thank you, Neil. Thank you for joining us. Neil's got to go. Appreciate you. Apostate Babe Linda is here. Linda James, the mayor in the city I grew up in, which is in LA, has told the gang members to handle ICE. Yeah.
I hope they do. I hope so.
Right. But like we've just discussed, they'll use that they'll use that. Sure. What I mean is like they'll take and sure some ICE guys will get roughed up by some gang members, but this is a brown community we're talking about where this is going to happen. And they're going to have no problem sending in the National Guard, sending in the military to get rid of all these brown people who are causing problems. I mean, sure, at first it'll look like a win. We'll go, yeah, the Bloods are finally representing, or the Crips or whoever. I don't know, guys, if you're watching Bloods and Crips, I apologize. But you know what I mean? At first, it'll seem like a win because they're doing it, but then after, it'll turn into a bloodbath, I believe. Dave Murphy says, excuse me, I just can't do it. I don't have the vocal range. This country is run and being destroyed by the most soulless, bloodthirsty ghouls in modern history, modern times. Yes, they are. You're absolutely correct.
Yeah, they are ghouls, man. They drinking that blood, killing people just to drink their blood. Excuse me.
The evil one says, did you see what the evil one says? I'll let you read that out.
I did. She says, Ryan Caltastic, I would love to take a trip to meet my favorite morning show host. And I believe she means me. Sorry,
I think she's talking about you. No. Sorry. Not sorry. Don't be sorry. Don't apologize. Never apologize for being good.
Okay.
That's awesome. Later, Theophilus, we appreciate you. Time to sail. Thank you very much, Philip Lister. We appreciate you. Be safe out there. Stay dry.
Thank you.
Ryan Coltastic, straight up ghouls eating body. Ain't that right? We've got a lot of things going on, and I really, based on what we've seen, I really need to find out at what point is the United States no longer the constitutional republic that it was. The Republicans are just really, they have proven over and over again, the whole GOP, the whole right-wing party have proven they are nothing but cucks for Donald Trump.
The biggest cucks, man.
Yes.
And then all these alpha males who just claim to be such strong individuals with their own personality. They're just boss men.
Mm-hmm.
And they honestly are the biggest sacks of pussies, pansies, just caving in.
Absolutely.
Like a deck of cards.
I know. Here's something else I want to mention. Whenever I see a white person like me, a white male on YouTube or Facebook or on anywhere going, hey man, Donald Trump, yeah, that's awesome. I love Trump, whatever. When I see that, I'm not surprised. I am a little disappointed, but I'm not really disappointed anymore. I'm just so used to it, so numb to it. But I got to tell you, man, anytime I see anybody else, even if it's a white woman, even if it's a white freaking woman up there going Trump, I'm like, oh my God, what are you doing, woman? Why are you doing this? You're voting against yourself on almost every turn. What is wrong with you? But I'm seeing this morning, I saw a video on, I think it was Facebook Shorts. It was clearly a trans individual, a trans person who was going, yes, I'm so glad Donald Trump did. It was one of those videos, the before and after, how they've been found out and they're all crying about it. And I'm like, I could not believe even one of those individuals would support Donald Trump. And yet they do. I heard that 50% of the Hispanic population voted for Donald Trump.
Really?
That's what I heard.
Because they thought it wasn't going to be them, and they thought that siding with white supremacy was going to give them some kind of adjacent. Yeah, they're going to go. They're going to stand next to. They're going to be adjacent to the power, so they'll be protected.
Yeah.
Nobody's protected by that type of power because it's unrelentless, and if you get in the way, you will be trampled It's really sad.
It's sad. It's absolutely scary. I see, you've seen the woman who was Latinas for Trump. I see her video of her bawling because one of her family members or something was carried off. I remember at first they were going after, they say illegal immigrants. We say undocumented immigrants. That's how we do it. All right. They're going to go after undocumented immigrants, but that bullshit ended whenever they stopped that and they started sitting down at the immigration office, picking up people who were there going through the process, legal immigrants going through the getting into the country process.
Exactly.
They've been here. They've done everything. They're just showing up at the office to sign the final paperwork. And ICE is there and carries them the fuck off without due process.
Exactly.
That, my friends, is just...
That is not constitutional.
And now Donald Trump is talking about... They've already removed birthright citizenship. If I remember, I don't know how my brain is fuzzy. I don't remember if they actually did or not. But if they remove birthright citizenship, they're going to try to literally remove the citizenship of millions of Hispanics who were born here to parents who were not naturalized, who were not Americans. So if you back in the 80s came across the border and you were an illegal immigrant and you dropped a child just over on this side of the border, and all these years that child's been an American citizen and gotten all the benefits, that they're trying to take that away. And once they do, then they're going to haul that child off. What the actual fuck? How come they're not hauling off Don Jr. and the blonde one, whatever the hell his name is, and Ivanka? Why aren't they hauling them off? They're naturalized. Are they going to lose their naturalized citizenship? Right. Why isn't ICE kicking in their doors?
Especially from what I heard, the visa that his wife came in on
Absolutely.
was like a that really should be somebody who's doing something that makes a difference. Mm-hmm. And that is that is not what I would call what she did. I mean, hey, go to every woman out there. Yeah, get your bag, do your thing, get your citizenship. But if you're going to nitpick other people and how they got here and if they were born here and if they're natural and blah, 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 then you need to do the same. Like, it needs to be equal.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now, normally that wouldn't matter because their problem is your parents weren't citizens. So if your parents were citizens and you were born a citizen, but now I say it's only for brown people. So here's the deal. They get rid of all the brown people, but who's going to do all the work? We've already got that problem. In Florida, they were trying to pass a bill to lower the labor age to 14 years old, to where 14-year-olds could work 40-hour shifts overnight on school nights. I mean, they're literally going for child labor.
Oh yeah.
Because they don't have enough hands there because of the immigrants that they've pulled out, or the immigrants that won't work there anymore. So who's going to do the work? Well, look at what else they're doing. They're also destroying our economy. They're with this here, they're going to put millions of people out without insurance. They're destroying the American people's ability to do money. And they're going to have like another great collapse. And we're going to have like millions of people here willing to work for $3 an hour because they ain't got no food. They got kids and they got, Yeah.
Yeah. And I think
another depression.
Because it's what they want. They know better. These people, I mean, they play stupid very well, but they're very clever to much of my chagrin.
Right.
Like, you can tell when they're pulling the strings, when they're shooting straight, and when they're gaslighting you. And they will gaslight us up till the day this country takes its last dying breath, blaming it on the Democrats. And then even when it does fail, just like Christians blame it on demons or apostates, they're just going to blame the Democrats. So what's happening now that's bad is because something that Joe Biden did. And, I don't really give two fucks about Joe Biden, but
I don't either.
Like, come on, you can't, what's happening now has nothing to do with Joe Biden.
Our economy was screaming when Joe Biden left. It was roaring.
It was better than what it is now.
Yeah. Donald Trump destroyed it. Just went in and just played with his dick. I mean, whenever he went in there and started doing massive money, what is it? What do you call it? market manipulation on a scale we've never seen before. The president of the United States literally came out and wrecked the thing, watched the stocks drop, told his friends, hey, now would be a good time to buy some stocks, and then undid all those things and watched the stocks come back up. That was
Stonks go high.
how the hell is this man not in prison?
I don't know. And
Yeah.
our senators, Congress that have investments. The fact that Steve
Mhm.
Miller has investments in Palantir, so many other people have
Yeah.
investments in these other systems that are going to be used against us. Like we have like we said the other day, it's like every single part of our life is under attack. Every aspect is
Every
under
single one.
attack. Gish gallop, motherfucker.
And they're just doing it so fast. There's no way to stop it. And our Democrats, I think, I actually want to say some of them are really trying, but what can they do? They just can't do anything. And then, what's left if it's not for the judges? We already talked about how he's defanged the judicial system, the judiciary. So the only thing left really would be the military. Well, they've been firing the judges or the generals, the top generals, and replacing them for the last 6 months.
With simps.
Yeah. And so they're not going to do anything.
Nope.
And now ICE is going to be, I tell you, whenever Americans get tired of this and they literally march on the U.S. Washington by the millions, it will be ICE standing between the people and Donald Trump.
Oh yeah, ICE is just now going to. It is the Gestapo now.
He's going to expand their roles.
Mm-hmm.
They're even talking about now taking naturalized citizens, removing our citizenship, and exporting us to other countries.
They want to send us to these CCOT and to alligator
Sudan, for freaking sake! Now, yeah, Sudan. They're talking about even. What the hell? That's a death sentence.
And I wonder how many again of our legislators, of our senators, of our Congress people, the people in the GOP who are going to make bank because they've already pre-invested, knowing this is what was coming with Project 2025. Right? We knew this was coming, or
yeah,
you know what I'm saying. We were aware that it was, and now we know what's happening. That they're so invested, they're going to be making bank. Our bodies are just money to them.
Yeah.
And then they're going to probably, I wouldn't see it taking too long before they start putting them to work, like doing labor, obviously. I have no idea.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's also the thing that they're going to get to a point, because we're talking about millions, 65 million Hispanics. Did you see the post or hear about the post from Laura Loomer?
Oh, yes. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
And she's Jewish. Am I correct?
I don't know.
Laura Loomer, right?
I don't know. I don't know if she's Jewish or not. Part of me wants to say yes, but that part of me is not. That's not. I don't know. Dave Murphy, what's to stop them from considering all detainees criminals and therefore subject them to forced labor? Nothing. And, that's the whole thing. We outlawed. Now, I noticed, I caught a glimpse, Dave, of your post earlier about the 13th Amendment. And a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, ooh, that 13th Amendment. Yeah.
She is Jewish.
Oh, she is Jewish?
And to say something like that is just really disappointing. Yeah. And that's just
sad. Look at what Israel is doing, and they're all fucking Jewish.
They're not all Jewish. They're not all Jewish, but
no. Well, you don't mean Israel, the country.
Yeah,
you're picking me up. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's disappointing to hear.
It is. But that 13th Amendment, I believe, is because I'm not necessarily a constitutional scholar, but I believe that that's what gives the African American people their right to their freedom. That coincidentally was one of the amendments left out of the Trump Bible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are so many right now, so many constitutional amendments that are literally under judicial attack by the right wing. Women's rights to vote coming soon.
The SAVE Act, if that gets passed, hopefully it won't, but if it does get, I can't even believe that there are women who are championing the SAVE Act.
Fill us in a little bit on that one.
Shit. What does it stand for?
I'll look it up real quick.
Yeah, look it up. But basically, if your name doesn't exactly match your birth certificate, something to that extent, then you wouldn't be able to vote.
Mhm.
And a lot of people have changed their names, just because, or because they've been married, or because they've transitioned. So it's intentionally
Oh, I see what you're
attacking a specific type of marginalized
Demographic.
group. Right. So any woman voting for that, and I think hi, I can speak English. I don't know why I do that. I'm pretty sure that there was a Democrat who voted for that.
Yeah, see, and there needs to be accountability for those. I've used the word in the before, collaborators. Remember?
Well, they get fed this piece of information that fits their bias, which is, oh, it's going to stop those immigrants from illegally voting.
Mhm.
We just want to stop them illegals.
Right.
Motherfucker, we got more issues with you getting rid of our votes to not even be worried about people trying to illegally vote, especially in a country where they could be gripped the fuck up. Nobody's doing that shit.
Right.
Nobody's
Nobody's doing. And you remember those politicians like Susan Collins who are like, oh, no, they would never. Donald Trump, when he gets in office, he would never go after
he
rogue.
said that. Yep.
He wouldn't do that. She defended him so many times, and then she is responsible. She is responsible for a lot of things. It was actually her vote. I think it was her vote that let something happen. I don't remember. I remember she was a key pivotal point, just like this Murkowski lady, just like this Senator Murkowski, who was the pivotal vote on something. She caved on it, thinking maybe somebody else would help, or Donald Trump would do, or somebody the next level would stop it. And all the levels think the last ones are going to stop it. So I think there were 3 conservatives who were holdouts on this big, beautiful, ugly bill, and they were holding out, and Donald Trump called them to the White House, and they went personally to the White House, and shortly thereafter, one of those 3 voted for the bill and got it through. What did they promise him?
You're not
what did
getting
they give
reelected, bitch.
I tell you, they no, none of them.
Anybody
if they are,
who
then
voted
there's
for
something
that,
wrong.
if you as an American vote for any of those people who are up for re-election who said yes to that bill, you're a fucking traitor. I don't give a fuck.
Yep.
You're a fucking traitor. Do not vote for them.
And it wouldn't surprise me at all, because look at how many of them done it. They're not. Have you noticed they don't seem to be afraid of their constituents? Despite cutting Medicare and Medicaid, they don't seem to be afraid. They don't seem to be afraid of losing their office. Why is that?
There's got to be some.
I think Donald Trump, I'm going to allege, I'll do it. I think I'm going to allege that Donald Trump has corrupted the voting system or something like that. And he knows they're not going to lose, but we'll see. Joe, the Kentucky atheist, is here.
Hello.
What's up, guys?
Welcome.
Nice to see you. Thank you for joining us. For those of you who don't know, we've just been going off today, politics and all that. We're going to take a little break because I don't even think we've done a commercial, or we haven't done theocracy. We haven't done anything.
We haven't done
just been ranting. One of those days.
We've been on one. It's a hell of a day, man. It's a hell of a Friday.
It really is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run us the pup commercial. For those of you who haven't seen the pup, I'm going to take 2 minutes, fill up my coffee, and when we come back, we will talk to Kentucky atheist Joe about the Ark Encounter protest going on this week. Actually, let me run it. I'll do that one in a minute. Let's do this. All right.
Finnegan!
Yes, sir. Very disturbing, I know.
Fetch me Father Finnegan.
Your Heine.
You are in the presence of His Holiness, the Puppius Maximus, guardian of the sacred fire hydrant, defender of the holy tennis ball, and eater of the golden kibble, Pup Oliver Poopsalop the Fifth.
Your popedom. I heard you have a bone to pick with me.
Condoms, Father Flanagan?
No, thank you. I've got plenty.
That's what I mean. Why are you selling condoms?
Oh, oh, you mean our Faro Sombrero line of condoms? Understood.
You know how we feel about those around here.
Well, they're not to be used by the Catholics, of course.
Not for Catholics?
No, they're part of our Sinner Gonna Sin lack of faith outreach program.
A sinner gonna what?
It's like getting the tithe, but from the heretics and the heathens and the atheists.
Oh, well, when you put it like that,
But, Your Highness, this will reflect very poorly on the church.
true. You know what this means, Flanagan?
Warning label, a warning label on the box, not for Catholics in big letters.
Too subtle.
Instant purgatory if used by Catholics.
I like it. Divine branding.
Excellent, your popedom. Will there be anything else?
That will be all. You may leave.
I did that for 40 years. Suck a dick.
And we're back. They just caught the very tiny back end of that. So I don't know if that helps you or not. Let me check our poll here again, folks. If you have, I got that video up. Go check out that video. Let me know what you think. It's a link up in the top. It needs to be. I want to see how many views it has. Because it just my videos have been getting not the views they need. I'm just saying. So right now it's got 53 views. So Joe, you're not familiar with what's going on with that. It's something importante. But anyway, Joe is here. I'm Joe. I'm actually going to make you big on the screen so you can fill us in on what's going on with the Ark Encounter protest. You know, here's what I don't know. I'm going to be the guy emceeing it. I don't know the start time of the protest. I don't know the end time of the protest. I don't know the location of the protest. I suspect most folks.
It's at the Ark Encounter.
It's at the Ark Encounter. Is there right? Is there like a parking lot we're supposed to go to? Is there a special area? I mean, just kind of that kind of deal.
All right, so let me start at the beginning and then we'll hit that part, okay?
Okay.
So,
but we're going to be literally in their parking lot?
No.
Oh, okay.
We won't be on their property at all. We'll be on public property. They're not going to let us protest on their property.
Gotcha.
So Sunday will be the 9th year that since AIG opened the Ark Encounter in Williamstown, Kentucky. It's been subsidized mostly by Kentucky taxpayers. So there's been a protest every year on the anniversary of that opening. And usually the tri-state freethinkers are the ones that put on this protest, but this year they didn't want to do it. Well, they haven't done it since the pandemic, and they wanted to wait till the 10th anniversary. I felt like it was something that we should keep doing, something we should care about and keep pointing out. So I spoke to some people and managed to get it going, and we're going to do it anyway with the help of the tri-state freethinkers. The protest itself takes place this Sunday, starting at 11 a.m. till we're done, which will probably be somewhere between 2 and 4. It's in front of the Ark Encounter. If you come off of I-75 and take exit 154, the Ark Encounter is one of the first things you'll come to, and you'll see the U-Haul and tents and all that stuff set up right out there. You can't miss it. So if you're looking for it, it's in Williamstown, Kentucky, and we'll start at 11. I'll be there on site at like 8 o'clock in the morning. So anybody that wants to show up for any other reasons or whatever can. We're going to have a number of speakers. Chris is going to be our MC. Tri-State Freethinkers is going to buy everybody pizza, and we're going to have a good time and talk about some of the problems with separation of church and state, some of the problems with the indoctrination and lies that Ken Ham and AIG tell children. And we're going to kind of shine a light on that for everybody to see. There'll be some media people there. There'll be quite a few people are coming. And we're going to have a good time. And we've kind of made a weekend of it. Jim Helton, who used to be president of American Atheists, is letting us use his house on Saturday night, tomorrow night, to have like a game night and make signs and stuff. And then after the protest, there's also going to be an after party there, which most everybody, it seems like, is interested in and stuff. And we're all just going to try and have a good, safe time and talk about some of this stuff.
Awesome. Let me bring us back up here. It sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to now you said you're going to be there kind of early. I would like to, if you don't mind, to volunteer to come up early and help you set up everything. And I'm, cause I'll be there. That'll give me the opportunity to get my shit set up and my sound, everything tested and all that. Now, is there going to be a breakfast with speakers, and is there going to be a breakfast organized?
So in the past, they had done a breakfast, and we had kind of wanted to do that, but there wasn't really a good way to pull it off. So what I'm going to do instead is I've rented an Airbnb, and I'm just going to cook breakfast for anybody that wants to come eat. So I'm going to cook homemade biscuits and gravy and all that good Southern
Chris wants eggy
so
toast, eggy bread.
I can do that.
Now, what morning is that going to be? That's going to be on Sunday morning?
That's going to be Monday morning.
Monday
before
morning.
we all leave. So,
Gotcha.
yeah. So, you can check out of your hotel or whatever, come by and grab breakfast.
That sounds awesome.
We'll serve it until we run out of stuff, I guess.
Well, that's convenient. We were talking about having a damn show. There's a lot of people who watch the damn show who are going to be there. I'm going to be there. So we were going to have our own little damn show party. And, if most everybody's going to be at this house you were talking about, we'll just gather everybody up and we'll have fun.
Yeah. So we rented 2 Airbnbs in different places, and there's about 20 people altogether staying in those 2 places, and then combined. But yeah, anybody that you want to stop by and burn one or whatever, come by and we'll hang out. Have a good time. So
yeah, I'm hopeful. You know how it is. Hopefully there'll be a goodly amount of people there. Anyway,
I think so.
I'm looking forward to the whole thing. It's going to be a lot of fun. I plan on sweating a lot. I'm going to bring a hat. A catheter. Let's see what else do I need.
My biggest advice to people is if you haven't been to Kentucky in the summer, dress like you're going to a jungle or something. Well, not in the long clothes. Dress cool and stay hydrated, because it's supposed to be about 90 degrees. The humidity will probably be 60 to 90, somewhere in there. It's like a sweltering jungle here in the summer. So dress cool and stay hydrated. We'll have water and stuff there, but definitely prepare for heat.
Gotcha. It sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. You have an order of speakers that I'll get, and I'm going to get with them and kind of visit with them each before. Yes, I've been looking up what it means to be an MC. So yeah. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a shit ton of fun. I'll be there. Now you're going to set up things that morning. I'll help you with that. What are you doing tomorrow? Because I'm going to be there a little earlier. You said you were going to get there, blah, blah, one sometime. Do you need help getting the U-Haul? I'll stop by and help you get the U-Haul and stuff.
The U-Haul is at one of these ride share places. I just have to stop and pick it up. The keys will be there somewhere. I just got to go find it. Yeah. But I just got to stop and pick up it and the generator and a few supplies and stuff. And I'm going to go to the storage unit and load up all of that stuff tomorrow evening. And then that way I can just go straight to on site at 8 o'clock in the morning. I don't have to go mess with loading stuff up first and everything.
Gotcha.
But yeah. You're
Well,
welcome to
anyhow,
come help us load everything up if you want. I mean, but I won't get down to Williamstown till probably I'll get done with all that stuff and check in at the Airbnb is at like 3:00. So probably around that time will be when I get there.
Okay. We'll text back and forth. I'll be in there. I'll have eaten.
Yeah.
I might have even napped. I love a good nap.
And I purposely tried not to overschedule stuff because I do know that some people had other things that they wanted to do and wanted to have groups go together and do stuff, and people go, voyage out and go see whatever what they want to see. We're like 40 minutes away from Cincinnati, about 25 minutes from Louisville, about 40 minutes from Lexington. We're kind of close to some cities and stuff there, so people may want to go do some things on their own and stuff. So I didn't schedule a whole bunch of stuff. I just kind of, besides that, I want to hang out with people. I don't really want to just run the whole time,
Oh, right. Well, that's kind of what it sounds like. I was looking forward to as well. I was looking forward to the hangout Saturday night. Of course, naturally, I'm really looking forward to the event itself, but also then Sunday evening, hanging out with all these other people. Most of us go back home Monday. For those of us who, get to meet, because how often do we get together like this? Those of us are going to be there. So.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. Yep.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and there's going to be quite a few people there, and we'll get a lot of people that show up Saturday, but there's also some people that are just showing up Sunday for the protest or just coming in and staying that one night or whatever too. So you'll have different groups of people, new people every day, so you won't get bored.
Good. Well, we've got what Dave Murphy says. First of all, he did point out that he's going to remind me and Ryan, he's going to be shirtless the whole time. So we'll have to keep reminding him to put on some sunscreen because drink lots of water. I don't think Aaron Ra's going to be here. He's not going to be here.
No. Aaron dipped on us at the last moment. We've had a couple changes to since we first started advertising. We've had a couple changes to things. People who agreed couldn't make it or made other plans or whatever, So we'll but I promise you, it'll still be a good time. There'll still be some great people there to speak. You get to meet some people that you see on YouTube and stuff, and talk to them. It'll be good either way. I'm disappointed Aaron couldn't make it, but we're still going to do it.
Well, here's a question, and that's the question of who's going to be streaming the event. Well, here's the thinking. I am going to be there. I'm going to have all my equipment with me, and I'm going to try to stream the event. Now, I don't know if I'll be able to, because I may not have internet. If I got internet, if we can find some way to get me reliable internet on site, then I would love to stream it live for everyone. But I don't think
you should have 5G there.
Right, but I don't know if I could try it. I just don't know if my data will handle it. We can try it. I'm keen to try if I need to, but that'd be awesome. At the very least, so we'll record that event. Now, the Saturday night event and the Sunday evening event, I'll have my equipment available. So if people want to have a live stream and we can live stream and show people the hangout and what's going on and how everybody's chilling at these places, I think some of our people would really dig that. Thumbs up from anybody in the crowd that thinks that would be cool to live stream. Maybe we'd have to get permission from everybody, of course.
And Kent Hovind is supposed to bring some of his cult members to it, and he's wanting to interact with some people and stuff. So what?
Which day? That's Sunday night. He's
wanting to bring him to the protest itself. I didn't invite him to anything else. But I told him though that if he wanted, to sit down and interact or debate or whatever it is he wants to do, that we could arrange something somewhere, either a little corner at the Airbnb or a conference room at the hotel or whatever, and make that happen if he wanted to do it. So, but nobody's actually signed up to do that. There's been no agreement, so there's nothing for me to schedule at this point. But I'm sure once we get there, it's going to happen.
So
I would look for that Sunday. Sorry.
Okay, Sunday. Well, either way, the goal, my idea is I'm going to have my equipment there, everything that I can stream with. It's not going to be my whole system, but it's going to be knocked out, but enough to live stream. And for the sign making, we're going to be making signs. Dade is sitting there saying he's going to make a sign. I'd like to make a sign too. while we're there for the sign making party Saturday night. Sounds like a hoot. And if we can, it'd be fun to live stream it. You know, we could even live stream it to your channel if you wanted. Be probably more appropriate.
I'll probably stream some little bits and pieces of stuff. I haven't been doing a whole lot on my channel here lately. I'm kind of wrapped up in a few different things, but you know, I'll probably stream a little bit of stuff from it though. Just I'll give some more behind the scenes things than the protest itself.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to try to get as many angles as I can. And, you know, I'm going to bring my big camera and a tripod for it. I'm going to bring a webcam that I can just kind of set on something just in case one of them, something doesn't work and as you recommended, I'm going to bring a box, power outlet thing situation. So now, I'm hoping to bring the stuff. Go ahead.
Now, other than speakers, we're also going to have there's going to be a lot of different groups represented there. Several atheist groups from Kentucky are going to be there. Black Non-Believers. Pangburn will have something set up. They're one of our major sponsors. We'll have some stuff from, I don't remember who else, but other people too. There'll be a couple authors there with books and stuff, you know, people to meet and network a little bit.
Well, what I'll try to have is I'll try to set my system up to where it can kind of manage itself. You know, I'll have to figure out, there may be somebody there. I may be able to find a trusty assistant to help me run things.
Probably be willing to help you. I'm certain.
I bet, you know, and now that you're telling me,
run off with your shit.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
I'll help you. Have an atheist be.
That's right.
If they're tweaking, maybe don't
don't ask them. I guess. And
it could be a Christian there to fool you.
So, well, I've got several people that are, you know, that want to help out and have offered to help in any way they could. So I'm sure we can get you somebody reliable to help you out with whatever. And I can help you with stuff. I'm not going to be doing anything.
Right.
I'm going to be watching. So well, I may say a few words before you go on stage. Like I'll introduce you. But other than that, like I'll just kind of be chilling and watching. It's not about me, so I'm not really doing much with it.
Yeah.
But,
well, part of what I'll be doing is I'll be doing the hobnobbing, going around and promoting and talking to people and getting, you know, the things that an MC does. So I won't be able to just sit there in front of my computer the whole time. However, I will be able to, if we got good internet, let me tell you, brother, if we have good, reliable internet, I would be able to take my phone and live stream from my phone to my computer and then out, you know, and I could go around talking to people while I live, you know. If I could make that happen, we'll see. That'd be freaking wonderful. I just don't know if I can make that happen. We'll see about the internet. We'll see how it goes.
Well, when I get down there tomorrow, I have to go down to the site with Jim anyway before we do anything. I'm going to make sure, you know, I don't need to take a weed eater and stuff to it or whatever. And but I'm going to go down there and look anyway. So I will check out the internet, and if it's not that great or whatever, we'll take care of it. I'll get a booster or something and we'll make it happen.
We'll see what we can do. And I may be able to, whenever I set up my show today, because I'm going to take my computer that I used to use to run this show with, and I'm going to use it. I'm going to set it up, and I'll see how much it can handle. Yeah. Hopefully we can get her all done. Captive Desk says Dan Phelps needs a shout out. Who's Dan Phelps? Dan Phelps? Somebody go, I'm shouting out Dan Phelps. Don't know why, but
Creation. No, that's the other Dan. Dan Phelps is he has a channel. Yeah.
Gotcha. Kip Davis asked, sorry, only half listening. Will there be live streaming during this event? That's what we're kind of talking about. I'm going to have the equipment, it'd be nice. And if Kentucky Atheist doesn't mind, I'm going to try to at least record the event. Our speakers, I want to have a camera set up there to record the speakers. I've got these the mics I was using. I have two of these, so I can give one to a speaker and I can keep one as we roam around and do the thing. And I'm literally going to try to live stream the event. It's just going to depend on the internet. And I may be just depending on my phone. And if it works, that'll be great. And we'll use my phone until the internet dies on my phone, till it, you know, I don't know how much data I have on there. It's, you know what I mean? Doing that kind of live stream. I don't know how much it'd hold it, but we'll see what happens. My goal is to absolutely live stream the event. If possible, like we were talking, I'd like to live stream the full event. And then the night before, we're going to have a sign making hangout, visit kind of thing. It'd be nice to run a live stream during that and show people the kind of fun we're having before the event. And then after the event, we're going to have another little hangout. We might even be able to possibly, as according to Joe here, possibly get some debates going with Ken Ham and some of his people, right? Ken Ham, not Ken Hovind, or Ken Hovind?
Ken Hovind.
Ken Hovind.
Ken Ham, I can't get an answer on whether Ken Ham will even show up.
Right.
They don't like us doing this, obviously. So they do come out and like interact with us when we walk up to the entrance. So there'll be a little field area where we have tables and speakers and stuff. And then there's a sidewalk that goes up to where the main gate actually is. And we'll walk up there and some people from AIG will come out and interact with us. But I don't know that Ken Ham will be one of them.
Gotcha.
Can't promise that.
Understood.
He lives close by, though. We can go find him.
Right. Yeah, well, maybe he'd appreciate a cross lighting in his yard.
Yeah.
Just, it was in the spirit of love. Anyway, but to carry on, it may possibly come about, Dr. Kip, that there may be a debate going on the evening of Sunday after the event with possibly Kent Hovind and some of his people. And if so, we will stream that as well. No lockdown details yet, but
I am positive that a number of people will stream lots of stuff from this event. With yours probably being the most intensive of the bunch. I kind of wanted to do a behind the scenes thing and just because I've got to go meet with some people and stuff beforehand and talk to the Tri-State Freethinkers people and all that stuff and some of the people who are the other atheist groups that are setting up tables and stuff. And I was going to kind of record some of those interactions and some of the stuff at the house that we get into and do a time lapse of setting everything up and do that kind of thing. I don't know.
That's
awesome. I guess it's in my blood now, right? To make videos of everything.
The more, the better. I mean, I feel like this is going to be a wonderful success, and having as much of it on the internet as we can, we'll draw more attention to it next year. If you go looking up, it's kind of hard to find some good videos of what happens. If we could put some up, that would encourage people. And to be honest, if Ken Ham was a smart man, he'd be welcoming this. It's publicity out the ass for his arc.
True.
Yeah.
Just saying. He's missing an opportunity. Yeah. And Ambush Apostate, I saw your offer of a battery, and a solar thing. I just want to mention that Joe says it will be set on electricity. The problem's going to be Wi-Fi. That's the only, and we may have it as long as we got the right kind of signal. We've got it.
Yeah, I've got to stop and pick up a generator once I get down there. Now, if he wants to bring that stuff, for people to charge stuff or whatever, we can.
Oh, that would be handy.
We can definitely set it up somewhere, out of the way or whatever. But
okay, yeah.
We don't need anything else right now. Everything's in place. Anything else that's added to it is just more there. So.
But that's not a bad idea. If you'd want to bring it and set it up as a little charging station for mobile devices for people who need it. Because there's going to be a lot of people. That's just an idea, just a thought. We're just going to need, if you're coming, bring. Now, Joe is fantastic. He's saying they've got water, but bring your own water. I'm just saying, be smart, bring your own water.
Drink water before you come.
That's true too. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to drink a lot of water. I'm even going to start drinking the water today. What's it? Bring an IV.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you want, whatever. Yeah.
Whatever. What's that? Tailgating?
Tailgating? I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's we're only a few degrees past that. But it should be a good time. There'll be a lot of a lot of people, not only from YouTube and stuff that you know, but you're going to get to meet some of these people that do activism on the ground, that are behind a lot of different events and activities and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
And one of our speakers, Secular Rarity, will be there to also plug NanoCon coming up shortly afterwards. So this is a real opportunity for those that want to get involved in things. And we're also going to have a sign-up sheet if you want to find out about like atheist groups or events in your area. We'll have a sign-up sheet. You can do that, and we'll get that information to you, let you know about stuff that's coming up and everything. And I promise I won't like send you any emails asking for you to fund the Trump campaign or anything like that.
None of that business. All right, well, fine. I'll sign up anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's going to be a lot going on. Everybody just remember to be smart. I've heard stuff, right? But we're not going to know what's going. We've heard about the threat of like Christian bikers or some business showing up. We can't encounter that. We can't deal with that. We got to just enjoy ourselves, have fun, make a message. Yeah, I know. Well, was it you that told me that possibility? I'm just spreading rumors.
So Kent Hovind, Joseph, who is one of his tech people on his channels, wherever they are now, his wife told Robin that they were going to bring some Christian bikers with them because they may need protection or something.
Oh God.
You know, because all of us violent atheists having a peaceful protest.
Right. Yeah, we're that way.
So,
I think you'll find that it's Christians who are the ones taking guns into schools and into restaurants and churches. Shooting
that would be
people.
if they would show up, they would be the ones to show up with guns and act cool, right?
Absolutely.
The state police, the sheriff's department, and the local police all know what's going on. They know there's a possibility of counter protesters. They know all of this, and I don't know if they will be there. There's been a couple of them where they showed up and kind of just sat and watched it, but most of them they don't even show up to unless they're needed. So, but it's a small town. You call the cops, they'll be there in like 30 seconds.
Right. Well, there's a Somebody says my video is set to should be public. My video does say public. Updates. Let me check and see. They're saying that the video that's linked up in the chat is public. It's not public.
Oh.
It's members only for some reason. Says public. It says public.
Well, you should be able to tell by your chat.
No, it's a video. No.
Oh,
it's the video I dropped earlier.
I got you.
Yeah. I was complaining it didn't have any views. Anyway, YouTube could be lying. It could be a liar. Anyway, say again, we just got to be careful about, and somebody in the chat mentioned that there are going to be a lot of eyes watching. We're going to have people there. The world is watching in ways it just never really has before. So we need to set a good example for our community, so I think we will. If there's some sort of scuffle or interaction between the two of us, I very seriously doubt it's going to be the atheists that are going to do it. So, but we always have to hedge our bets and go, be smart.
Yeah.
Don't start shit. Wear a mask if you're going to start shit. No, no, but I think we're going to be okay. But if anything does happen, we'll have it all on video and everybody will be. I don't think it's going to be like that though.
Yeah.
Now, do people tend to go down and walk through the Ark Encounter place? Is that how? No.
Well, interesting you bring that up.
Good question.
I'm actually I encourage everyone not to. There's plenty of videos out there of it. It's not that great. It's definitely not worth the money. And please don't come to the protest and support Ken Ham and AIG. It kind of defies what we're doing there,
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
exactly. You want him to go out of business. You would hope that.
Right. Well, we were talking about that. It's publicity for him. I said that earlier, but it's bad publicity, really. We're not painting a good picture.
There's a possibility that I may have a handful of free passes or whatever. And I don't care, you know, I just don't give them money is what I ask. Like,
Right,
don't-
exactly.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. Don't give them money. Yes. Yes, true that.
And-
That's what I thought.
And anybody who does choose to go in these places, if you go in there with this idea, I'm going to go make content, as soon as you pull out a camera, they will kick you out. So don't, you know, they know we're coming. They know what's up. They've dealt with this for years. And there's story after story of people being kicked out, and they plainly say it. If you come in here trying to make YouTube videos and stuff, we will kick you out.
Understood. Well, it makes sense.
So, yeah, I mean, it's their place. They can do that. I don't, you know.
To be
Whatever.
fair, seeing it from the outside will be sufficient for me.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really the site, right? They
Yeah,
built
because
this
it's
big monstrosity of a boat building.
yeah.
Was it Bill Nye who went through there?
Yeah,
Oh, did he?
I feel like
yeah.
Well,
When it opened, Bill Nye went through and debated.
Yeah, that's
Kim
enough.
Ham.
that was enough. That's all I needed to see.
Gotcha.
Well,
yeah.
Aaron did a video in there. Several people have done videos in there. They've allowed them to do it or whatever.
Mhm.
But if you just go in there and try to shoot video, they'll kick you out. They don't want you doing it, and they don't want the like Kent Hovind. I've had to talk to Kent a couple times surrounding this whole thing, and he called Mark Louie, who is the guy we talked to, and told him all, because we told him what we're doing and stuff. They told Kent Hovind not to come. They didn't tell us not to come. They told Kent not to come though. So,
Well, if he were smart, but you know, again, he's just like Jordan Peterson or any of these others. He could show up, he could debate, and no matter how poorly he does or how badly he does, he's always going to say he won and talk. You know, anyway, somebody asked about my video, asked if I did have 3 of them. I actually do, but they're not all 3 the same. They're all edited differently, titled differently, sort of like a test to see how those videos will do. One of them opens with just a less aggressive start. And that one video has got 62 views. Then this morning I did 2 different edits of the video. They're not the same length. One has background music. They're completely different. YouTube has not registered them as the same video. And the other one's got 60 views and they've got 42 views. This is like 150 views, about 150 views between 3 videos on a channel with 10,000 subscribers.
Yeah, that's weird. AF.
you got
It is kinda
10,000
weird.
subscribers now?
Taste.
Yeah, that's what the stream is. Yeah, 10,000 subscribers.
I
stream.
didn't
Yay.
even look at the stream.
No worries. No worries.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and so we're growing, but you know, it's like I really want to get that video out. It's and part of the reason why there's another update was if you watch the first video I dropped today, the last 10 minutes of it, or like 30 seconds of it, the audio wasn't there. I don't know why. It was there in my editing software and everywhere else. I had to re-upload it, but it was already actually starting to go, and I thought, oh, it's gonna go, and then it just stopped. So
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah. YouTube does me dirty like that sometimes. So
Yeah. And you know, we were talking about earlier, I showed everybody the thumbnails, the titles, they're catchy. And yet, for some reason, YouTube.
yeah.
Anyway, so let's see what the chat is. Williamston, Kentucky is 1.5 hours. Oh, that's all. Wow. Dave. Okay, cool. Well, I appreciate that you've done this and taken over this role. And this is year 9 for them.
Okay, so they didn't have it because of the pandemic. They missed a couple years. This will be the 9th anniversary since they've opened, and the 7th or 8th protest. Next year will be the 10th anniversary. Tri-State Freethinkers is going to take back over, and I'm going to work as a consultant for them and kind of do some of the advertising and stuff like that with it. Get sponsors and things like that. We're going to be working with them, and eventually there'll be a whole like full convention that takes place in Eastern Kentucky. I'm kind of learning the ropes and meeting some people right now, and I plan to set something up in Eastern Kentucky. I think there needs to be something like that in this area. So I don't know. I'm trying to do more stuff on the ground, actually get out and do some things rather than just sit in my bedroom and talk to my TV. not that there's anything wrong with that, but I have the feeling that I want to go do more, you know, and I want to. It's always been my goal with my channel and all this to show that I'm just a regular dude. I'm not an expert on anything. I'm just a guy who doesn't believe, and I choose to speak up about it and talk about things. I'm not, you know, I mean, I would say I would say I have average intelligence, you know, like I'm nothing special here. I just like to talk about these things, and I encourage others to do it. And that's what this is about.
You're
It's
special.
showing that you can go do the, well, that's what they always told me in school, but you know,
Here's to all us dumbasses.
I want to make a Jerry's Kids reference, but I don't want to. I'm that old, see? And I think, first of all, it's probably too crude, and because, you know.
Didn't age well. Didn't age well.
It didn't age well, yes. No.
But, you know, like, I encourage others to go out and use their voice and do things. And by setting up events like this, it's a chance for them to actually go do that and to meet other people that they can be involved with stuff if they want to, you know. If they don't, that's fine too. We need everybody.
Right. Well, there's just so much going on, you know, and what are we going to do whenever they've got the information from Palantir and they've got the billions of dollars of manpower that they're buying for ICE? Sorry, I just derailed the conversation again, didn't I?
No, we can talk. I talk about politics stuff. You know that. So, you know, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, no, but I really want to dedicate the last of this, you know, as much as we can stay on topic because we are AD&D, to at least Ark Encounter, you know. And the other thing, the NanoCon. Did you hear I weaseled my way into NanoCon?
Yeah.
You did? I know there are people out there going, what the fuck, how do you do this?
Yeah. Secular Rarity and I talk a lot. He's involved with some of the NanoCon stuff, and we're good friends and talk a lot behind the scenes. And I may go to NanoCon. I don't know yet, but he keeps me filled in on things sometimes.
Good. Well, I enjoy him. He'd make a great MC. You know, he's so personable.
Sure.
He's so.
I love Elliot.
He's great.
He's great.
And I'm going to look forward to meeting him there in person and also being at NanoCon in person with him. That's going to be great too. That's going to be a hoot.
Lucky.
I'll tell you an example of someone that like nobody knows, but is, well, some people know, like Elliot is friends with Jim, but Jim and Chrissy Helton, who are responsible for Tri-State Freethinkers. Jim used to be president of American Atheists, then was president of Tri-State Freethinkers. They built up to like over 5,000 members at one point. It's kind of dropped off some in recent years. And this is a person that makes no YouTube videos, doesn't do YouTube appearances at all, really. I mean, he'll show up like in voice and stuff. He doesn't want to do video, but an amazing person who has went around the country and set up more atheist groups than you can count. And these are the people you want to meet, you know, like these are people that you want to network with that know the people on the ground that have interacted with these things. It's YouTube. We kind of get in this thing where it becomes a bit of an echo chamber, and we enjoy it and have fun and create community, and that's great. But when you're talking about actually opposing these things, like it does no good for me to make a video just on my own saying creationism is bullshit and all this, because my audience already knows that. They probably know some of that stuff better than I do. So we're kind of like speaking to the choir in that case. And this we get out publicly. There'll be media there. There'll be people there. It's a chance to expand into another area if you want to do those things. I mean, not everybody does, but.
Yeah, it's such a fancy thing. I'm actually going to wear pants. I mean, shorts, but I'm going to be covered from the waist down. I'm going to be covered is what I meant. More than just a loincloth, which is what I normally go around with.
I wouldn't even wear pants to a funeral. I wouldn't go to a funeral, first of all. I think it's weird, but.
The wrong kind of barbecue.
Yeah. I showed up with holes in my shirt today. Look up here.
Well, I thought that was part of the design.
Yeah, it's part of your selling points.
that part of the design of I just woke up and threw some shit on and was like, I gotta do a video.
Hey, I know that feeling.
Deviant Outcast says, Joe says he's nothing special and of average intelligence. I can say from personal experience, he's a dirty little liar. He is, in fact, a very special little boy and very intelligent.
Yep.
I have lots of experience. I have wisdom more than I have intelligence.
Yes. You're not as dumb as you look. Is
Wisdom accounts
I understand.
Not as dumb as I look. Not as dumb as I sound is what gets people.
Me too, brother. Me too. With my southern accent.
Yeah. They underestimate you every time.
Every
they
freaking time.
Dipshit. And Kent Hovind, whenever I debated Kent Hovind here a while back, and I had been all like just nice and friendly with him. And I said, Kent, you're probably one of the most charismatic people on the internet and all this stuff. And then once we got to talking, he, puts out the shtick and everything. And he didn't realize that like I knew a little bit about cosmology and the Big Bang and evolution and all that stuff. And it was interesting.
Yeah.
But,
it tends to be whenever they run across people who actually know their shit. And to me, it's really got to be somebody like Ken Hovind or Ken Ham or those kind of people, any of them really, who can lock that anchor of reality. And no matter how much you show them the truth, how much you prove them wrong, no matter how many times they see the evidence that anchor holds, it amazes me.
Yeah. Well, there's some willful ignorance involved in a lot of that.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
I was always a big R.N. Raw fan whenever I started getting into atheism as far as like as a YouTube thing or whatever. I started out watching like Christopher Hitchens debates and stuff like that, and eventually found Aaron and Matt doing the Atheist Experience one night, and started watching some R.N. Raw stuff because he has a very similar experience as I do of growing up among lots of young Earth creationists. And I mean, there's a lot of people who just never even take the time to think critically about it because that's what indoctrination is you're supposed to accept it without question. So there's a lot of that, but then there's a lot of willful ignorance and a lot of dishonesty. And
a lot of dishonesty.
As Aaron says, faith is the most dishonest position you can have. It's pretending to know things you don't know.
Yeah.
Which is part of a Mark Twain quote also. But back to the other thing about intelligence, another quote that is great for this would be Newton. If I've seen further than others, it's because I stood atop the shoulders of giants. And it's this community of people doing this, and the information we have experts in evolutionary biology, in genetics, in geology, in cosmology. We have experts in all those things in this community, and all you have to do is listen. And so, if I've came off as sounding more intelligent than I am, it's because of the great community that's been created here on YouTube of people helping each other.
That's awesome. That's how I've learned. I've learned so much watching these other people, these other communities. One of the things where one of my biggest blind spots was in the trans issues, and watching Arden and those people over there really helped me understand that sort of thing. And then, every now and then I'm one of those who's like, you know what, if you got to learn ancient Hebrew and ancient this and ancient this to be in touch with God and get his message, it's just a worthless message to me. Right. However, there is some very what?
No, I'm agreeing with you.
Oh, there's some very stimulating conversations out there that can be had by people who do explore those things. And I enjoy watching that stuff too. And that's where I learn things. So, I mean, Dr. Kip, great example, because some people in an argument, they're going to go, oh, but the ancient Hebrew says. Now, normally my first reaction is going to be, yeah, but if you got to read it in that, what's it matter? Most people ain't ever going to get that, blah, 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 blah. But now I can go, it doesn't really say that though, does it? It says this, because I learned on Dr. Kip that there's just so much to learn from this.
One of my favorite videos I did was with Dr. Kip, and I learned a lot of things just during that video, and was just a great conversation about some of the polytheistic values in Christianity that people don't talk about. And of course, we, Kip Kip's expertise is in the Dead Sea Scrolls. So of course we talked about some of that stuff too, and origin and things like that. But I learned so much, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. There's so many sources that are more than happy to sit down and talk to you, and even they love to have you ask questions. You ask Kip a question, he'll answer it. I mean, you know, he's and he comes and visits small channels, big channels. He's everywhere. You know, Kip's very involved, and we love to see that.
It's been great. And Justin, girl, I think you're muted.
We love Kip.
There you go. Yeah, we love Kip.
Yeah.
And Justin is another one where I learned. You know, he's more into the debating. I want to think like a soft debater. He will give. Yeah, Justin with Deconstruction Zone.
Okay.
He'll debate them and all that. It's not as verbally violent as Matt Dillahunty can be. So there's watching him.
There's a shift going on there. You notice that, where like the like talking down to theists and yelling at them and stuff is kind of not as popular as it used
Not
to
as hot as it used to be. Yeah. That's one of the things that swells my viewers. I get here and people are going, man, we love your channel that you're not yelling at people. I will, though.
I've only yelled at one person. I've only yelled at one theist. And I was debating him, and he was just completely dishonest. So I cussed him out for like 30 minutes. But, you know, he deserved it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I try not to go off on people, but it can be interesting to watch, you know, whenever it happens. But Justin's good to watch. I've learned things from Justin. Matt, I've learned things from all of them, really.
Yeah. Don't misunderstand. I'm not shitting on Matt. Matt is an amazing person in this community.
It's all about styles.
Yeah. And one of the people that made this what it is today, like Matt is very valuable and will always be someone I look up to. But that kind of yelling at people and stuff. Some people do like that, you know, like I think whenever modern day debates, whenever that whole debacle took place and it kind of fell apart, I think that's when people kind of shifted a little bit. And we have such a huge community of people that have heard all these arguments, and now they want to be more involved with building community and talking about atheist lives rather than theist nonsense. And that's I think there's a bit of a shift going on there, and I'm happy to see it. We have to, if we're ever going to normalize, you know, this, we have to make it to where, first of all, we get rid of some of these labels and stuff that aren't necessary. Why do I even need the label atheist? Because I don't believe you. Like, it's not a thing. Atheist isn't even really a thing. It's a lack of a thing. But we have to get away from the like making a spectacle out of like being mean to theists and the angry atheist stereotype and all that stuff, and quit worrying about them. Let's build our community, and we find like-minded people who are interested in some of the same things. And I mean, what harm are we doing here? Where, if anything, we're learning from each other about science and history and theology. I mean, that's a great thing. Let's do that. Why do we need to? What good is it to even sit and argue all the time with people?
Right. Well, you know, in my experience, it doesn't really help. But I've said this before. I appreciate Matt. I appreciate all of them over there. Forrest.
Of course.
Now, here's the deal. This is my feeling, and I've said this several times. I feel like we, as non-believers, or any group that's not Christian right now, to be honest, any group that's not Christian in the United States, are under attack. And we need as many different voices as we can get. Now, I'm going to replace the word voices with weapons. We need as many big guns, many weapons as we can get. I am a machine gun. You know, you're like a bazooka in the barrel. Yeah, I know. But Matt is a different kind of weapon. He's a different kind of person. But this is a weapon in which there is a theocracy being imposed upon us, and we all have our roles to play. So I personally try not to dissuade people from checking out Matt, but I don't dig his method. I dig Justin's method,
well,
the more soft.
Matt on the line is different than Matt Dillahunty's channel. If you go watch Matt's channel, it's all about telling you how to approach some of these things, and it's very informational and educational. And Matt does a lot of activism and stuff, and is a huge advocate for the LGBTQ community, and does lots of good things. So don't let me seem like I'm talking down on Matt. We need all of those perspectives. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. They're all just, in my mind, of course, we're defensive weapons. That's kind of what we're going for. But we need them. We need his voice. We need all their voices, all the voices we can get. And part of the deal, and I think I share this with you, as you mentioned earlier, one of the things that frustrates me is us going after each other. We shouldn't be monitoring and going after each other whenever we got Christians to be going after and
laying in the shadows, waiting on somebody to say something wrong. Is that what you're talking about?
That sort of thing. Yes. Yeah. We did get a $5 super chat from Raven Lunatic, who said, what do pizza delivery guy and a gynecologist have in common? They can both scrape a bit of cheese off the box for a quick snack. Ouch. Girl, you got to say it.
Raven.
Right. Good morning, Safed.
Glad we're on topic here.
Yes.
God damn it.
Yeah. So there are a lot of things going on, and this is one of those things where there are a lot of important voices that are going to be there. I'm looking forward to meeting the people that are hosting us there at that home. You've mentioned their names. I forget names all the time. I'm looking forward to meeting them. Yeah. Jim and Chrissy. Okay.
Great people, for real.
Great. Okay. Yeah. And the what you've told us about him, the growth, the help that he's had, we need that kind of thing. I feel like the best thing we can do is to somehow, as much as we can, educate these theists away from their beliefs, rather than fighting them, arguing them, yelling at them. You know what I mean? Browbeating them, forcing them, any of that stuff. Rather educating them. Like Justin does.
And on the thing about attacking each other, Chris, I don't always agree with your approach to things.
No,
and you may not agree with my approach to things. But whenever it came time to do this protest or whatever, you offered up hey, I could do some hosting and stuff, and I thought Chris would be great for that. I am still I'm still more than happy to be friends with you and work with you and to help spread this to other people. I mean, that's the thing. Don't pick at each other. Stop.
Oh, right.
Stop it.
Right. Our differences are so, in my opinion, any differences we may have are so slight.
Yeah.
They're so slight compared to the differences we're facing in the difficulties we're facing in our society.
From the things that I've sat here and said today, you've got 10,000 subscribers. You have a live stream you do daily that has quite a community that comes. A lot of regulars.
Wonderful community.
I drop in a lot of times for a little bit, but how could I be against any of that? We're doing the same thing either way. Right. So I hate to see when people fight. In fact, I've been called in to mediate 3 or 4 of them before because I'm the person that's always over on my channel telling people to get along and be kind. I
remember you were there whenever
to a few people too, though.
Yeah. That was your stream, wasn't it? Oh my goodness, I was on your stream and you were doing something on your live stream and I was like, oh man, I wouldn't be doing this. And then I realized I shouldn't be telling you. And I popped in to tell you, man, I'm sorry for telling you how to run your stream. And that's all I popped in to say. And Peter went off on me and I fucking lit into him. I'm like, you tell me? Oh man. I was like, don't you dare. You don't even know what I'm going to, that was a proud moment, but it was also one of those moments where I hesitated to go back and watch it.
So let me explain something about that. That individual, TJ, who's a recovering addict and believes in a lot of the prophecy and that God actually talks to him and all this stuff. People were saying oh, you shouldn't be doing this because there's a psychological problem and this and that. First of all, if you're not a psychologist, shut the fuck up. Second, this is what Christians believe. It's not just TJ. They do this. This is more normal than being an atheist. So it's not all this magical thinking and stuff and talking to people through walls and all. They do that stuff. I grew up in that stuff. That wasn't even all that crazy to me. That was, so. But I appreciate input.
No, I told you, but remember, if you unless you remember, those were the same things I was saying. I was like, man, don't do this on the thing. And then in the chat, even I was trying to like, oh, I'm sorry.
I was mad at my
realized I was wrong. Were you? Yeah,
Well,
we were wrong.
I stopped the stream and like I stopped the stream and kicked TJ out and like went off on my chat that night.
Yeah,
I was
we
mad.
were wrong. We were wrong.
So it wasn't, you know,
I
like
admitted it.
Yeah,
He
no,
got
and
mad.
it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, hugs all. That was very dramatic. But those kinds of things, that's small potatoes. We got small potatoes. Right now out there, we've been doing our Theocracy Watch, and we kind of keep up to date on all these things where they're trying to do the Texas Bibles things. They failed on that for now. They did the Oklahoma Bibles things. That they tried to there's so many things where they're trying to take away rights. Originally, they would go after a state's funding for something because there was a single trans individual in a high school thing, and it was religious reasons. So, there's a lot of reasons for us to unite and stay on the same side. There's a lot going on right now where this theocracy is being imposed upon us. That's one of the things that I'm going to be speaking about at NanoCon is the Christian nationalist movement, which is the theocracy, And you're in the Bible Belt. You're right there, man. How do you now? You're talking about like Eastern Kentucky needs to be more atheist. Don't you have concerns about being an open out atheist at all, or no?
I'm not scared of these people. They're snowflakes, man. They're all bark and no bite. And besides that, like I grew up here. Like I have both sides of that experience. There's how to word this. I'm not worried about defending myself intellectually or physically. And if somebody wants to come take me out and whatever, that's fine. Let them do it. Good luck.
They prove us right. If they do. That's what I put in my things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, come do something, because you just be proving everything I say to be true.
Yeah, make a scene. Let me, because one of the things that I think that I do have a strength in is make an example of dumbasses. I'm good at that, and
a natural skill.
And I will.
Absolutely. Now, Ryan, you're not going to be able to make this one, right?
No, I sorry.
I know. Maybe next time.
Let me write your name down here.
You're on my list.
Wow. The time has been going by like a lot of fun. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wrap up the show. I'm going to read our super chats. I'm going to let you guys go. Instead of the normal commercial that we have when the show ends, I'm going to rerun that video that is linked in the chat. If you feel like you support the video and what's being said, please share the video. And let's go. Yeah, like I said, there were 3 different versions, and they're I think right now, let me see if it's what it's got now. Bum, 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 bum. I've tested 48 whole views on the video. So you'll see. Yeah, I know, balling. Let me do this thing, pop back over here, and I'm going to read out our super chat real quick, and then we'll wrap this up. Let's see here. We have Cryptic Peptide for $5 says, give Trump credit for cucking nearly half of the U.S. and an entire political party. I have an undocumented family member. We don't know what to do. Thank you for the $5 super chat. I'm sorry about the problems your family member, your worries that you're being put through.
Yeah.
Dave Murphy said, excuse me, this country is run and being destroyed by the most soulless, bloodthirsty ghouls in modern times. That's very poetic, almost like a haiku. Yes, I feel it. I'm getting misty. Thank you, Dave, for the super chat. Raven Lunatic said, what do a pizza delivery guy and a gynecologist have in common? They can both scrape a bit of cheese off the box for a quick snack. I know, that's rough. But look at Joe. He's like, I like that idea.
I mean,
yeah.
I've been the take it for the team guy at the bars a few times. So
well, we don't kink shame. I understand what you're saying. We don't kink shame.
Mm-hmm.
All right, everyone. Thank you all for joining us. Ryan, thank you for joining us today. We'll see you Monday. Joe, I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow sometime.
Absolutely.
Get to your destination safe. We'll be anxiously awaiting some content.
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on, and I can't wait to see everybody.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Y'all be safe. See y'all later.
Bye, guys. Love you.
Okay, everyone, as I said, whenever I hit the little button here, it's going to show that video that I showed you earlier. Let me know what you think about it. If you don't mind, share. I think more people need to hear this. I haven't tested it. I did it while we were doing the thing. So check out this video. There's a link in the chat to it, or there was. And if you don't mind, share that video. People need to know about it. Things that the conservatives done should be considered atrocities. Literally 14 million people estimated to die because of the shutting down of USA aid. That is an atrocity that the U.S. conservative MAGAs need to answer for. They need to answer for. They need to be charged in some form of like new modern day Nuremberg trial, because they are literally killing people by the thousands. One of the first things Pam Bondi did after she got into office, literally hours after getting into office, she created the Weaponizing Working Group. And what this group is to investigate groups who investigated Donald Trump. Essentially, it was Donald Trump's way of weaponizing. They're doing exactly what they were claiming was being done to Donald Trump. If you were investigating Donald Trump, they're investigating you now. That's what they were doing. Also, should be known that that was one of the first things that happened whenever she got in office. We now have a January 6th rioter, someone who was a former FBI guy charged with insurrection, who attacked the Capitol, who is egging people on. He has now been hired by the Department of Justice and put in is working in this weaponization working group. Jared Weiss was on trial for the insurrection, for his actions during the insurrection, whenever President Trump got into office and gave all of them pardons. We saw the insurrection on the news. We watched it live as these conservative MAGA supporters attacked the Capitol. We watched it, and Donald Trump pardoned all of those individuals. As soon as he got into the office, one of the first things he did was pardon 1,500 insurrectionists. Of these 1,500 people, now they're even rewarding them with jobs in the government. I mean, there was an attempt to overthrow our nation. He's back in office now, and they're turning our nation. They've already done it. They've gone after every aspect of our nation. They're going after the separation of powers. Donald Trump is defanging the judges, the federal judges, and he's using the Supreme Court that he put in there to do it. And in the past few months, Donald Trump and the MAGA conservative politicians have literally overthrown our nation. They've overthrown the United States. They're attacking the Constitution on so many different levels, literally, whether it be attacking the First Amendment rights of news organizations, of protesters. Now they're still trying to work this big, ugly fucking bill through. And what the deal is they're literally trying to rape the poorest, the most vulnerable people in our society. They're just milking them and giving it to the stupid wealthy. This Murkowski lady, she got up there, and Miss Murkowski, someday I hope you see this. I saw your video where you tried to stare down that reporter when he called your bullshit out.
Senator Paul said that that your vote was a bailout for Alaska at the expense of the rest of the country.
Oh my.
That's what Senator Paul said.
My question was easy. Senator, we've got the...
I didn't say it, ma'am. I'm just asking for your response.
My response is I have an obligation to the people of the state of Alaska. And I live up to that every single day. Do I like this bill? No, because I tried to take care of Alaska's interests. But I know that in many parts of the country, there are Americans that are not going to be advantaged by this bill.
You sold out all of the American people on Medicare. You said you weren't going to. But conservatives said you weren't going to go after Medicare and Medicaid. And you know what? We should have known you were going to, because you're liars. You're nothing but liars. You lie constantly. And this is proof. And now you're doing your thing. You're going after your big, beautiful bill, and you're trying to gut the American population. You're trying to take and make as many Americans dirt poor as you can. You're taking away all the support systems, things that the conservatives done should be considered atrocities. Literally 14 million people estimated to die because of the shutting down of USA aid. That is an atrocity that the U.S. conservative MAGAs need to answer for. They need to answer for. They need to be charged in some form of like new modern day Nuremberg trial, because they are literally killing people by the thousands. And that's not what's going to happen whenever they start cutting people out of Medicaid and Medicare, whenever these elderly people who have no family, no money, they're dependent on that for just to get in, let's keep them living in the nursing home. Well, what's going to happen then? You know, this is just one huge step to destroy our country. Vladimir Putin must be just giddy with what's going on right now. This is hurting America so bad. And all the conservative politicians, they're freaking bought out. This is not how the government works. Our country has been overthrown. I mean, we're on the very last brink of the United States of America. If you're an older person like me and you've been here since 40 or 50 years, you know what it was like to live in the United States of America. That is gone. It wasn't Democrats, it wasn't immigrants that did this. It was conservatives. Donald Trump, the MAGA conservatives, have literally turned our nation into 1939 Germany. And I know you think I'm shitting, but we now literally have concentration camps here in the United States. We've got other members of the Senate calling for more of these things, and they are bragging about this alligator Alcatraz. They want people to get hurt. They're giddy. They're giddy for people to try to leave and escape from this prison, this concentration camp, so they can get eaten by alligators. What the fuck kind of people are running our country? Jesus fucking Christ. What is going on? They're going to starve us to death. It's literally a billionaire war. We're got to get money out of politics. We got to shut Fox News down and prosecute the people in Fox News. Don't just fine them, prosecute them bastards for telling lies and spreading misinformation and undermining our republic, lying to the people so the money could undermine the Constitution. They should pay for that, not just dollars. These conservative people over on Fox News need to be tried and go to prison for the lies they spread. Gavin Newsom is suing them for $700 and some odd million for lying. They need to be sued for lying more often. Fox News needs to be sued out of existence, and the talking heads who have intentionally, knowingly spread lies, and we know who they are. We have their messages. That's why they paid out those millions of dollars, because they knew they were busted. We had the messages, the emails, the text messages confirming they knew that they were telling lies. These people need to go to prison. They do. They do. Look at the damage. They're estimated 14 million people are going to die because of the cuts to USA aid. So to you out there who took an oath to the Constitution, you did not take an oath to Donald Trump. You took an oath to the Constitution to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States. The Constitution is under attack right now from a domestic threat. They're using both violence, they're using the law, they're attacking it through whether they're going after, like I said earlier, they're going after people who are trying to use their First Amendment rights. They've gotten rid of the due process, 14th Amendment. If you've even heard in the news about the due process, how people are not getting the due process, Donald Trump is violating the 14th Amendment of the Constitution right there. Do your fucking jobs. Do your fucking jobs. You're supposed to defend the Constitution from threats, both foreign and domestic. Stop sucking Donald Trump's dick. He needs to be in prison. This is the most corrupt president in history. It's absolutely pathetic how it's out there, and there's nobody can stop him. Nobody can stop them. We, the people, my friends.